For about 4 months now, there's been a lot of discussion and talks about an upcoming Nintendo Direct. The predictions, the speculation, the excitement, and everything associated with that made for a pretty good time. Now that the Direct has happened, there's definitely been a lot of controversy and a lot of talks on the internet surrounding this Direct. There's been a lot of comments like, 9 months, we waited so long for this, and this is what Nintendo pulls? This is what they're supposed to convince you to buy a Nintendo Switch with? Overall, it's definitely really interesting when you really look at it, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so honestly, I find this to be really interesting. On one hand, I could see that the Direct was pretty good. On the other hand, I was just waiting for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Even if you watched that live stream from a couple days ago, I was just, Ocarina of Time. So if we take a look at this poll right here, a poll that you guys have actually, said your vote and your opinion on this. There's a good margin of 41% that say, yeah, this Direct was actually pretty good. Then there's about 31% only like it because of Ocarina of Time. That was only the good thing. Then we got 13% that's like, it was pretty much a glorified partner showcase. And then a good 15%, 9 months for this. Now that is honestly the big talk, the big thing on the internet. Was this thing any good? Because all I saw was JRPGs. All I saw was just tiny little partner games. All I saw was honestly just like Zelda. One little clip of Zelda. They could have done more. The one big thing that I noticed throughout this Direct was there was no 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. Now honestly, I struck that as weird. Nintendo usually always does something for the 40th anniversary of any big franchise. And since the Zelda is inside their Triforce of Nintendo, what I would like to call it, you would strike it as odd that we didn't see a single mention of that. Now, honestly, this could have just been Nintendo brushing off everything, making sure that, yep, this is what you get for the summer. We don't really have much. We don't have much trailer to feed you, but we want you to get excited for September. That could very much be it. But honestly, when you really look at it, was this really that bad, or was it even that good? Because I guess it just depends who you are. Do you like JRPGs? Because 3 Nintendo Switch 2 editions of all 3 games, and plus a brand new Xenoblade Chronicles games, or not Chronicles, just Xenoblade game that comes out in about probably mid-2027, which is definitely really interesting. But also, when you look at it, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was the big show stealer. We finally got it, but they definitely could have added another, a little bit of gameplay. Because we know that this is going to be coming 2026. In fact, Nintendo already just announced it, 2026. But they could have gave you some gameplay to say, yeah, you should get yourself a Nintendo Switch 2 while it's $50 down. Or maybe they just wanted to wait so they can get extra money when these big games come out. So then you're like, oh, I should have got myself a Nintendo Switch 2 in June or July when the prices were lower. But now I gotta pay the extra $50 for that. Maybe this is what Nintendo was thinking. Overall, all of these things on the internet is definitely really weird. Now honestly, I wanted to point this out because it honestly is true. Nintendo Land made a little board showing what type of games we saw. And number 1, we have rhythm games. We only got one of those. We also have narrative games, only one of those. Roguelikes, one of those. Party, 1. Shoot 'em up, 1. We also have third-person shooter, 1. We got multiplayer survival, 1. Horror, 1. Driving, 1. Roguelike, 1. Sports, 2. Platformers, 2. Life sim farming, we got 2. We also have adventure co-op, 3. Action adventure survival, 9. And RPGs and JRPGs, 16. Wow, JRPG fans were actually cooking insane. One other thing that I wanted to mention is everyone is upset with Nate the Hate for some reason. Now honestly, this is kind of crazy. Is it because he spoiled the surprise of Ocarina of Time? I don't get it. If you don't want to see leaks or rumors or anything, just don't use the internet. It's just simple as that. honestly think that all of these things surrounding this has just made Nintendo and the community just upset. Is it better if Nintendo from now on just doesn't do any Nintendo Directs? Because this is definitely how right now the response is feeling. Nintendo is honestly better off just not doing a show, not doing anything. In fact, just randomly shadow dropping things to make the community happy. Because if you're not getting a direct, if you're just speculating about it, I feel like the whole cloud surrounding that is honestly better than right after the direct. Everyone is hating Nate the Hate for saying, yeah, this is the game that we're getting, this is the game that we're getting. Everyone is hating Nintendo for not releasing their favorite game, and everyone is just back-talking each other, saying, you know what, you suck, you're the worst thing ever because you like this certain game, or you like this direct, or maybe you hated the direct and you're on the other side of that conversation. I overall think that this is just a terrible time. It's just taking this whole Nintendo Direct situation into a whole spiral. It took a turn, if you will. It's honestly really interesting. Now, if we looked at Nintendo's post right here, these are the games that you will look at. These are the games that you saw. Honestly, I will say that most of them being Nintendo Switch 2, okay, that makes a lot of sense because the Nintendo Switch 2 is now taking over. You saw a lot of like Switch 2 editions in some ways. You saw a lot of like free updates, which was definitely really cool. And you saw a lot of like updates for games. Might not be the release date, however, but just updates for games. You didn't even see games that were previously announced, like Minecraft Dungeon. There was a brand new trailer for that. We also saw the fact that Call of Duty was making their way to the platform, but instead there was like more time talking about those games. Overall, I don't necessarily think that this direct was the best thing or even the worst thing. I just think that it was in the middle, and that's okay. Most Nintendo Directs nowadays, as you probably noticed, is the direct is like a 50-50 with most audiences. Usually the September direct is the time to change that around. I would say the June direct was, but seeing the lineup here, it might not make sense. You also might be saying, because there was a lot of this as well, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Why did we only get like a little reveal? That's it. Just a tiny little reveal of Link sleeping in bed. That's it. Like, honestly, they could have done more, but I feel like they were just waiting because they didn't technically announce the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. I feel like this is probably going to be the main show thing, so you're going to start off the direct. They wanted this to be the final thing because it's a big thing. So then in September, this is most likely what's going to happen in my head. You started off The Legend of Zelda series, and then we actually get in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess because that just makes sense. And then like the movie and everything that we speculated and was wondering, is this going to be happening for the last like 4 months now? We're probably going to be seeing all like that Zelda stuff, and then that's going to be the end of the 40th anniversary where they're going to share actual gameplay of Link in Hyrule, share the release date, which is going to be November. Trust me, it's going to be November because Nintendo is not scared about competing with GTA 6. So yeah, that's probably going to be exactly what's going to be happening here. Overall, I found this situation to be really interesting. Like, really interesting. I haven't seen the internet this diverse in the longest time. Like, it's been a pretty long time, to be honest. Everyone sort of fell into that agreeing stage where, yeah, this idea might be stupid, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. But overall, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider it that like button. Maybe subscribing if you're new. Do you want Nintendo Directs to just stop because the argument around them is horrible? Did you wish that this was a partner showcase and we got something else? Or what's going on here? Because if Nintendo did a partner showcase, the outrage would be even just as bad. If they didn't do a direct as a whole, there would even be more outrage about, hey, the direct is happening, the direct is happening. But there's something else coming. Just, it's Nintendo. There's something else coming. They gotta make it up to you. And this is, I mean, unless it's Zelda, because Sports Resort didn't even have 100-pin bowling, for crying out loud. What? It's supposed to be Wii Sports, sort of. Wii Sports Resort. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.